Hello, my name is Marilyn Clark, Economic Engagement Manager for the University of Kentucky. Thank you for joining the Growing Our Own workshop series. At the University of Kentucky, we are dedicated to advancing Kentucky through education, research, healthcare, workforce, and economic development. The Growing Our Own workshops are designed to help small businesses like yours increase capacity, connect to business resources, and find contracting opportunities with the university and other organizations across the state. The workshops in this series include how to do business with the University of Kentucky, knowing your Kentucky small business resources, and which certification is right for your business. These workshops are brought to you by the University of Kentucky Economic Development Collaborative, the UK Cooperative Extension Service, Connect 120, UK Procurement Services, and the support of our business resource partners across the state. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Growing Our Own Workshop 1, How to Do Business with the University of Kentucky. During this workshop, you will learn about UK's plans for expansion, our procurement processes, how to find opportunities, how to submit bids and proposals, and what you need to know about bonding and insurance. Our goal is to give you the tools and the confidence you need to seek work with the University of Kentucky. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, my name is Barry Swanson. I'm the Chief Procurement Officer for the University of Kentucky. And today I'd like to talk to you about how to do business with the University of Kentucky. First of all, I'd like to give a little bit of an overview about UK and what it is we do at this fine institution. Founded in 1865 as a land-grant institution, we currently occupy 918 acres adjacent to downtown Lexington, Kentucky. We have over 36,000 students, over 24,000 employees, and almost 3,000 full-time faculty. Our annual budget is nearly $8.4 billion. We are considered the state's flagship university and consist of 16 academic and professional colleges with more than 200 majors and degree programs at the undergraduate and graduate levels. Our student body represents more than 100 countries, every state in the nation, and all 120 counties. Currently, we have almost $500 million in grants and contract award in FY24 and 162 patent applications in FY24. Now I'll move on to UK Procurement Services, the group that I have the pleasure of leading here at the university. We're made up of several different units. Central Procurement Unit handles the bulk of the transactions. UK Healthcare Procurement largely handles the patient care items, but Procurement Services as a whole handles the entirety of procurement across the university enterprise. That is now a growing enterprise with our recent acquisition of St. Clair Hospitals in Moorhead, Kentucky, and King's Daughters in Ashland, Kentucky. We also have a construction unit, and we have a procurement automation unit, economic engagement, supply center, and surplus property. And I think we'll get into more details about some of these units later on in the presentation. Procurement Services handles a lot of transactions. We handle $2.1 billion in addressable spend. $3.4 billion comes through our office, so we have responsibilities for managing those dollars. The bid limit statutorily is $100,000, and above that level requires some formal activities be performed by Procurement Services. Those activities include invitations for bids, requests for proposals, requests for information, requests for quotes, and of course we have a procurement card program here at the university. as I said earlier, procurement services handles the entirety of the procurement function for the university. And being a large university with many academic endeavors, and including healthcare, we cover a lot of different categories. We have academics, we have healthcare, we have athletics, agriculture, construction and maintenance, repair and operations, and we have a large research and development side to the university as well. So that's a little bit about the University of Kentucky and procurement services and what we do. Now I'd like to turn it over to Corey Leslie, who will talk about the construction procurement process specifically. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Corey Leslie. I'm Associate Director of Construction Procurement at the University of Kentucky. My team is responsible for contracting with the various trades and consultants who build, maintain, repair, and operate our facilities across the UK enterprise. If you submit a bid or have a question about construction procurement, you're going to be dealing with one of the 4 people that are identified on the slide here. Our office is physically located in the Peterson Service Building, which is right down the hall from the bid clerk, and that's an address you're going to want to know. There are 2 primary methods for the university to get pricing on major construction work. The first is the invitation to bid, or IFB. The other is a request for proposal, or RFP. The university decides on which path to take based on the complexity of the services requested and which approach will give the best value. Typically, you'll see those single prime general contractors selected by IFB, or hard bid. Those projects have been fully specified by an AE consultant. So our best value is whichever qualified bidder can deliver that project on time to spec for the lowest price. On the other hand, construction managers enter the project before design is complete. We select them in part based on their ability to identify and mitigate risk during the design process. So we use the RFP because that experience may come at a cost. Now, don't be misled, price is always a factor, but a best value decision needs to consider the experience and skill of the CM as well. The last thing I'll discuss on this slide is the personal services contract and the AE per diem program. One of the few things we don't contract for in the procurement office is AE services. These are handled by the Facilities Planning, Design, and Construction Group, formerly known as the University Architect's Office. If you're a design professional, please check this link and head to their webpage for more information. Let's get back to construction. If you want to find opportunities for the University of Kentucky, our official website is here at the top of the page and is available on that QR code. However, I highly recommend that you check that middle link for the Lynn Imaging Plan Room. It is our official plan room, and all of our construction documents will be posted there. They post our construction bids and RFPs, as well as bids and RFPs from other project owners, both public and private. Registration is free, and digital downloads are as well. Once you pull those documents from the bid, you're automatically registered as a plan holder, and so any addenda to those bids and RFPs will be automatically pushed to you. Now, if you want a physical copy of any documents, there is a deposit copy, or you can purchase a set if you need to mark one up. Once you've pulled the docs from Lynn Imaging and you've carefully reviewed them and settled on a price you're ready to bid, there are some steps left to finish up. Fill out the form of proposal, which you might know as a bid form, and make sure that you've signed the authentication page and that you've included your bid bond. The next slide will discuss the form of proposal in a little more detail, but now I want to focus on the form of proposal for an RFP. Carefully read the instructions, as there are many variations on that theme. CM proposals, for example, often don't require a financial proposal on the initial due date, but other RFPs require pricing to be considered responsive. So read those submission requirements carefully each and every time. As a reminder, all bids and proposals are due in a physical format, no email or fax, at the bid clerk's office by 3 p.m. Lexington, Kentucky time on that due date. The address is presented here again for your reminder. Here's a construction bid form of proposal. Usually the project number, title, purchasing officer, and bid number are filled out in the front-end documents for you. The rest of these fields are for you to fill out. Make sure you acknowledge all addenda so we know that your price is based on the final specs before bid day. It isn't shown here, but be sure to complete the base bid amount along with any alternates if provided. Be sure you sign that authentication page shown here and legibly fill out your email information so we can reach you if there are any questions. You should know that construction bids may also require information on unit prices, listing of major subcontractors, listing of major suppliers, direct wage information about your labor forces, other things that may be required by the construction manager if we're using them on the project. If you're the apparent low bidder, you also need to know that the determination of responsibility form will have to be filled out, and that's going to require information about your experience modification rate, your bondability, documentation of your firm's experience, and other similar projects, resumes, specialized certifications, and more. The important thing to know about this slide is how to identify whether it's a construction bid or an RFP, and also an invitation for you to please reach out to me and my staff if you have any questions during any point of the bid process or outside of the bid process. We're here to help you in any way that we can. Let's talk briefly about MRO, which I can't really do justice in one slide, but it's an exciting program that we use to gain services for contracted work in anything in our built environment. As you can see by the vendors who are listed here, there's a lot of bleed between MRO, which stands for maintenance, repair, and operations, and construction. So it made sense to bring those services into our portfolio in the construction procurement section. Right now we have over 90 contracts ranging from drain cleaning to equipment repair to disaster recovery, and we're always looking to expand. There's a lot of excitement around this program, and it's well deserved. My staff and I are happy to discuss how your services might fit within the program. If you're a materials or tool supplier, however, those are commodities that are being used by our own craft services, and they belong with general procurement. Another buyer will be happy to discuss that. Earlier, I talked about specialized certifications that may be required with your bid or with your proposal. A big one is these hospital certifications. When construction contractors work in a healthcare facility, certification with KSHE or ASHE is a baseline requirement. Certification is an indicator of your firm's preparedness to work in areas that may require infection control, special outage notification, zero downtime, other unique challenges that are posed by working in a healthcare setting. If your firm does not possess this cert and you want to explore obtaining one, please keep a close eye on the training and testing windows, as these are not continuously available, and we will not award a contract to a firm that is not certified on a healthcare project. Hopefully I've emphasized that enough. I know that we'll be discussing it more in other sessions. Thank you for your interest in construction procurement with the University of Kentucky. I look forward to your questions, and I look forward to seeing your bids.
Hello, welcome to the University of Kentucky's Growing Our Own Commodities and Services part of our presentation today. My name is David Stefanik, and I am a procurement manager in the Procurement Services Department at the University of Kentucky. A lot of the things that I handle and we'll go over here are the commodities and services that are handled in what we call Central Procurement Office, which is separate from what is done from what Corey has talked with the construction services. There are many different commodities that are purchased every day through the Procurement Services Office, from hospital supplies to agricultural equipment. The list here shows typical commodities purchased through our office, though this is a pretty nice detailed list. This doesn't touch upon the many things that can come through our office every day here at the University of Kentucky. It's also good to make mention here at this point that the needs for the University of Kentucky are derived at the department level. Then they're brought to procurement services to strategically source the need. Needs for the university do not start from the procurement service department. As a state institution, the University of Kentucky must follow all statutes in the Kentucky Model Procurement Code. The opportunity to do business with the university can present itself in two different ways. The two ways I'll be explaining to you are slightly different from what Corey has explained in how business is done with construction. Although the processes are the same, the way that we award is a little bit separately from construction to all other commodities that are purchased through the University of Kentucky's Procurement Services Department. It's also good to mention, and I know Corey mentioned it, but this is one thing we can't mention enough, is that all bids and proposals are due by 3 p.m. the day of the due date on the proposal. Anything later than 3 p.m. cannot be opened by our department and reviewed. As a state institution, the University of Kentucky must follow all statutes in the Kentucky Model Procurement Code. There are two different types of opportunities to do business with the university, and they can present themselves as an invitation for bid, also known as a bid or IFB. It has scope and intent of work in the invitation for bid, and that will be released and awarded on the lowest responsive bidder will be the successful awardee. The other opportunity to do business with the University of Kentucky is through a request for proposal, also known as an RFP. The request for proposal generally consists of two different documents. The technical proposal, which you can find explained out in section 4.0 of the RFP. All criteria needed for the technical proposal is put and spelled out in section 4.0. The second document needed for an RFP is the financial proposal. There is a small paragraph in section 4.0 that explains the financial proposal. The rest of the financial proposal will be explained out in either section 7 of the RFP or section 8 of the RFP being dependent on what section that will be in. The RFP is awarded in the best interest of the university, taking into consideration the criteria. I appreciate everybody and the opportunity to talk about how to do business here at the University of Kentucky. We are extremely excited to see more people putting in bids and RFPs here in our office. If you have any questions or concerns, you can feel free to contact our office. The Procurement Services Department, we're always happy to help you in any way. Thank you all very much.
Hi, my name is Marilyn Clark, Economic Engagement Manager for the University of Kentucky. The Kentucky Economic Development Collaborative is a network of campus and community stakeholders who oversee UK's economic development and business engagement activities. The mission of the EDC is to proactively grow economic prosperity in the Commonwealth of Kentucky in the areas of talent, innovation, place, partnership, economic engagement. The EDC works very closely with procurement services. Why economic engagement is important is because it aligns with the university's strategic plan to advance Kentucky. Strong businesses build strong communities, and we know and understand that. It enhances our supply chain, drives competition, provides innovation of new products and services. It helps us meet the needs of growing stakeholders, including our students, increases the university's brand, and is a competitive advantage. It creates economic impact in all 120 counties that we serve. This is our economic engagement impact model. It actually helps guide our work. We basically start by identifying businesses, educating and training them through series of workshops like this. We also go an extra mile and connect businesses to our departments here at UK. Then we measure and report and evaluate our work. The main focus is impacting the community, the campus, the economy, our students. One of the things that I like to do in talking with businesses is to discuss how to engage in the process and prepare before any opportunities for bids and proposals become available. This slide shows many things that you can do to become prepared. First of all, engage with our resource partners. We've talked about them in other capacities. Capability statements become your business resume. Make sure that you have one. Make sure that your email and your website and any of your social media platforms are up to date. Register with Lynn Imaging, which is our plan room here in Lexington. Understand how to submit bids and RFPs, and we've talked about that in this particular workshop. Make sure that you have a proper level of liability and insurance, that you have bonding capacity to fit the project, and that you are pre-qualified with some of the larger construction companies for that work. Also become a client with our resource partners, whether that's the SBA, Kentucky Apex Accelerator, the Small Business Development Center, or Commerce Lexington. Just want to mention briefly our Turner UK Construction Business Accelerator. This is a 10-week curriculum that we run every spring. We accept companies into this program, and we teach them about insurance bonding, subcontracting, construction drawings, specifications, and it's really a very, very special program. So this is an example of education that we provide. This is a slide of our economic opportunity map, and this is important because, again, as we advance Kentucky, we are able to show the economic viability of each one of the counties in our Commonwealth. Growing Our Own is, again, this workshop series, but it is a part of our relationships to grow our own businesses across the Commonwealth. Please contact us. These are all of the contact personnel for the UK Procurement Services: Barry Swanson, Chief Procurement Officer; Corey Leslie, Associate Director of Construction Procurement; David Stefanik, Procurement Manager; and myself, Marilyn Clark, Economic Engagement Manager. Thank you so much for joining us for this workshop, How to Do Business with the University of Kentucky.